Have you ever wondered why, after studying English for years in school, you still feel stuck when it comes to speaking it fluently? You know the grammar rules, you passed the exams, but the moment you need to talk to someone in English, your mind goes completely blank. If this sounds familiar, take a deep breath because you are not alone. The biggest myth about learning English is that you need to sit at a desk with a heavy grammar book for hours to get better at it. That approach works for passing written tests, but it completely fails when it comes to real-world communication. Language is not a subject to be studied. It is a skill to be developed, much like riding a bicycle or playing a guitar. You cannot learn to ride a bicycle by reading a book about the physics of cycling. You have to get on the seat, fall a few times, and slowly find your balance. Improving your English every day requires the exact same approach. You do not need to dedicate 3 hours a day to make massive progress. What you actually need is a simple, consistent, daily routine that fits perfectly into your current lifestyle. Today, I am going to walk you through a highly effective, step-by-step daily routine that will transform your English from hesitant to confident without making you feel like you are studying at all. The foundation of this entire routine is based on a simple shift in mindset. You have to stop treating English as an academic subject and start treating it as a tool for connection. When you wake up in the morning, your brain is fresh, but the idea of opening a textbook might feel exhausting. So we are not going to do that. The first part of your morning routine is all about passive input. Before you even look at your phone to check messages, play an English podcast or a YouTube video in the background. You do not need to understand every single word. The goal here is not active studying. The goal is to tune your ears to the rhythm, the intonation, and the sounds of the English language. You can do this while you are making your bed, brushing your teeth, or making your morning coffee or tea. Pick a topic that genuinely interests you. If you like technology, listen to a tech podcast. If you enjoy true crime, history, or self-improvement, find an English channel about that. When you listen to something you actually care about, your brain absorbs the language naturally, without putting up the usual resistance it does when you force it to study. As you listen to this audio during your morning routine, I want you to try a specific technique called shadowing. Shadowing is incredibly powerful for improving your accent and fluency. When the speaker says a sentence, you try to repeat it out loud exactly how they said it. Do not worry about sounding perfect. If you are brushing your teeth, you might sound a bit funny, and that is completely fine. Focus on mimicking the ups and downs of their voice, the pauses they take, and the stress they put on certain words. This trains your mouth muscles to produce English sounds effortlessly. Most people struggle to speak fast because their mouth muscles are simply not used to forming English words in rapid succession. Shadowing fixes this by turning speaking into a physical muscle memory exercise. Just 5 to 10 minutes of shadowing every morning will make a noticeable difference in your ability to speak smoothly within just a couple of weeks. Now let us move to the middle of your day. Whether you are commuting to work, sitting in an office, taking a lunch break, or doing household chores, you have small pockets of dead time. We are going to use this time for focused reading and vocabulary building. However, we are not going to memorize long lists of random words from a dictionary. That is the fastest way to get bored and forget everything by the next day. Instead, I want you to pick just one short article, a blog post, or even a few paragraphs from a book every day. Read it slowly. When you come across a word you do not know, do not immediately open Google. Try to guess the meaning from the context of the sentence first. If you really cannot figure it out, then look it up. But here is the trick. Do not just learn the meaning of the word. Learn how to use it. Write down the exact sentence where you found the word. When you see a word in its natural habitat, your brain remembers it much better. Commit to learning just 3 to 5 new words a day. It sounds like a very small number, but think about it. 3 words a day means over 90 new words a month and over 1,000 words a year. That is more than enough to build a massive vocabulary. Once you have your 3 to 5 words, the next step is to force your brain to use them immediately. You need to create 3 original sentences using these new words. Make the sentences about your own life. If the new word is reluctant, do not just write a random sentence. Write about how you were reluctant to wake up this morning, or how your friend was reluctant to try the new restaurant. When you connect new vocabulary to your personal life, it sticks to your memory like glue. Keep a small notebook specifically for this, or use the Notes app on your phone. During your lunch break or while waiting for a bus, pull out your phone, look at those 3 words, and read the sentences you wrote. This entire process takes maybe 10 minutes, but it is infinitely more effective than staring at a vocabulary list for an hour. As the afternoon transitions into the evening, we enter the most critical phase of the routine: output. Input, like listening and reading, is important, but if you never output the language, you will never become fluent. Output means speaking and writing. Since writing is easier, let us start with a very simple evening writing habit. Before you go to sleep, open your notebook or phone and write down 5 sentences about your day. It does not have to be beautiful literature. It can be as simple as, "Today I went to the market and bought some fruits. The weather was very hot. I met my friend and we drank coffee." The goal is not to write a perfect essay. The goal is to train your brain to think in English. When you try to write about your day, you will realize that you do not know the English word for something specific. Maybe you do not know how to say traffic jam, or "I ran out of milk." This is a good thing because it shows you exactly what you need to learn. Look up those missing words and use them in your sentences. This daily journaling habit bridges the gap between knowing grammar rules and actually applying them to express your own thoughts. After the writing comes the most terrifying part for most learners: speaking out loud. You might be thinking, "But I do not have anyone to talk to in English." That is a very common excuse, but it is no longer valid in today's world. You have yourself. Every evening, stand in front of a mirror and talk to yourself for 5 minutes. Pick a random topic. It could be a movie you watched recently, your plans for the weekend, or your opinion on a piece of news. Just start talking. You will stumble, you will make grammar mistakes, you will pause to think of a word. Let it happen. Embrace the mistakes. When you talk to yourself in the mirror, you remove the fear of judgment. You realize that making a mistake while speaking English does not hurt you. It does not embarrass you. It is just a part of the learning process. If you get stuck and absolutely do not know how to say something, say it in your native language, look up the English translation, and then say the whole sentence in English again. This mirror technique builds incredible confidence. If you can talk to yourself comfortably in English, talking to a stranger becomes 10 times easier. If talking to a mirror feels too awkward, there is another brilliant alternative. Use the voice recording app on your phone. Pick a picture from your phone's gallery and describe it in English for 1 minute. Press record, start speaking, and press stop. Then, listen to the recording. You will immediately hear where you paused, where your grammar was wrong, or where your pronunciation was unclear. You do not need to share this recording with anyone. This is purely for your own self-correction. When you hear your own mistakes, your brain automatically remembers not to make them the next time. Alternatively, if you want to practice with real people without the pressure of face-to-face interaction, use WhatsApp voice notes. Find a friend who is also trying to improve their English. Make a pact to send each other a 1-minute voice note every evening talking about your day. It is low pressure, it is convenient, and it forces you to speak. The final piece of your daily routine happens right before bed. Your brain does a lot of its memory consolidation while you sleep. Whatever you feed your brain right before sleeping is what it processes the most deeply. This is why your evening entertainment should be in English. Stop watching movies or shows with subtitles in your native language. If you watch an English show with Urdu or Hindi subtitles, your brain is naturally going to read the easier language and completely ignore the English audio. You are basically just listening to your native language while English plays in the background. If you need subtitles, put them on in English. This forces your brain to read and listen to English at the same time, which dramatically improves your reading speed and listening comprehension. Watch a YouTube video, an episode of a sitcom, or a documentary in English. Do not worry if you do not understand every joke or every fast line. Just let the language wash over you. Try to pick up the main context of what is happening. Over time, you will notice that you are understanding more and more without even trying. Let us address the psychological aspect of this routine, because that is usually what makes people quit. When you start this, you will have days where you feel like you are making zero progress. You will listen to a podcast and feel like you understood nothing. You will try to speak and feel tongue-tied. This is completely normal. Language learning is not a straight line going up. It is a staircase. You will have long, flat periods where you feel like nothing is happening, and then suddenly, almost overnight, you will experience a leap in your ability. You will wake up one day and realize that you understood an entire English song without reading the lyrics. You will reply to a foreigner automatically without translating in your head first. Those moments are coming, but only if you push through the flat periods. Do not judge your progress by how you feel on a specific day. Judge it by looking back at where you were a month ago. Another major hurdle is the fear of being judged by others. Many people refuse to speak English because they are afraid their friends or colleagues will laugh at them. You need to change how you view this. If someone laughs at you for trying to learn a new skill, that is a reflection of their insecurity, not your incompetence. It takes courage to be bad at something in order to eventually become good at it. The people who laugh are the ones who are too scared to try themselves. Hold your head high. Every time you speak broken English, you are actually winning because you are practicing. The person laughing at you might know better English, but if they are not learning a new language themselves, you are actually building more mental discipline and courage than they are. Be proud of your mistakes. They are proof that you are trying. Consistency is the absolute master key to this routine. Doing 15 minutes of English every single day is 10 times better than doing 3 hours on Sunday and nothing for the rest of the week. Your brain needs daily repetition to rewire itself. If you skip days, you lose the momentum and you have to keep starting over. Tie your English habits to things you already do every day so you do not forget. For example, I will listen to a podcast while I brush my teeth. I will read an article while I drink my afternoon tea. I will write my 5 sentences right after I turn off the bedroom light. When you attach the new habit to an old established habit, it becomes almost automatic. You do not need willpower to do it. It just becomes a natural part of your day. To summarize this entire approach, your simple daily routine looks like this. Morning, passive listening and shadowing while getting ready. Afternoon, reading a short piece, extracting 3 new words and writing personal sentences with them. Evening, writing 5 sentences about your day in a journal, followed by 5 minutes of speaking out loud in front of a mirror or recording your voice. Night, watching the show or video with English subtitles before sleep. That is it. No expensive courses, no heavy grammar books, no stressful exams, just natural daily exposure and active use of the language. If you follow this simple routine for just 30 days, I guarantee you will feel a massive shift in your confidence. Your hesitation will start to melt away. You will stop translating sentences in your head before speaking. Words will come to your mouth faster. You will start to actually enjoy English rather than fear it. The journey to fluency is not a secret, it is just a habit. Start this routine tomorrow morning. Do not wait for the perfect Monday or the perfect month. Start tomorrow. All you need is your phone, a notebook, and the willingness to be imperfect. Take that first step and watch how far it takes you.